Another field connector installed. That is my speed gauge / water temperature sensor. So, in order to get it actually installed now, we need to make a hole in the boat. This is all kinds of fun. Everything is fine. Everything's fine. The boat only sank a little bit. I had a bunch of moisture in here that I thought was condensation the other day. And we just had this big storm come through, and look at that leak. So that is not condensation. Something on the deck is leaking. And this is the only interior leak I have. So of course I am going to fix this, because I fixed this and I have no more interior leaks. But I hadn't noticed that was leaking before, so this is all new. So looking at where it's leaking, it is very likely that it is that stanchion base that is leaking. Which actually is a good thing, because the solution is just, 4 screws, clean everything up, rebed it, put the screws back in. So there was a pretty substantial application of butyl on this. I'm really wondering now though, was this fitting the cause of the leak in the first place? Well, I guess at this point, one way or the other, I need to clean this up and reinstall it and rebed it. Well, that didn't work. Had some pretty major storms roll through last night, and as you can see, that paper towel is still wet. One of the things that frustrates me is there's a lot of time spent just thinking, and I've been doing a lot of thinking about this leak. It's obviously not caused by this. This is another culprit. The reason I'm discounting this is because I don't see any evidence. In order for the leak to be coming out where it was, the water would have to be running along the underside of the deck, and I don't see that from underneath. So the next big culprit was this tow rail, and that's kind of intimidating because that's a lot of work to take that apart and fix it. And then I had a thought. Down in here, this scupper, there's this trim piece, and you can see it's higher. So the water tends to lay in here and back up, and it doesn't drain. I think the water is getting between this trim piece and the hull. There's a bunch of screws in it. And if any one of those screws isn't appropriately sealed, well, that water is going to go into the boat. But I just realized it's raining hard enough that leak should be leaking. And previously, that much rain, this would be leaking, and it's not. Look at the water not pooling because that trim strip is not there. So that tells me that opening up those scuppers so they flow properly is at least some part of the solution to this leak. If I modify that trim rail, that rub rail, so those scuppers drain effectively like they do when it's not on there, and also seal those screws better, I think I've got a very, very good chance of, the best fix possible without actually removing all of that and resealing the entire whole deck joint. My plan is to get it hung and then put the endmost screws in and then come back along and just kind of tighten each screw a few turns, just go back and forth tightening so the whole thing is pulled against the side. These are the holes I drilled. They'll go right where the scupper is and will allow the water to actually drain out of the scupper. And you know the old saying, measure once, cut twice. Well, that didn't work either. The next rainstorm, the leak came right back. So if you have any ideas on what I need to do next to track this down and fix it, leave them in the comments below because I'm kind of stumped at this point.